a cloud. See, basically the idea is that we meet once a week, and I want to change that model to really say that we will record it whenever one of the expert is available, and then there is a time available for you. And once it is recorded, then something similar to a podcast, then I would publish it on the YouTube channel after getting your approval. So here, why is it that we do? Because doHow is a methodology which I have developed. And our objective is to really see in what way we can get doHow propagated more and more, and more people get to know what doHow is all about. So first is doHow is a L&D program for significantly improving individual and team performance. Here, we work with contextual basics. doHow is a methodology for transforming individual mindset and team culture through Socratic discussions. And it's an inspirational persuasion of individuals and teams is the doHow principle. Here we have comparative doing scoreboard, so which forces people to do the activities which have been agreed upon. So that's the basic thing. And our methodology is to have a 2 to 3 hour session every 2 weeks, which could be an assessment, presentation, workshop, simulation, gamification, process review. And in between that, to have a monitoring and activities for the team to be done on their own using a app, which is the doHow app, available in the web, which can be accessed by visiting workbook.businessdohow.com. And also, I would like to share a very brief disclaimer of our chat, so that this may not be really construed in a negative way and it could impact us negatively. We are doing it on a positive, with a positive intention, and I would like that to be positive. So with that very brief introduction, I would like to now unshare my screen, and then I would like to invite first Ajit, who has been here for a longer time, to introduce himself, and then Rajesh, and then after that we'll start the discussion. Ajit, over to you.
Yeah, my name is Ajit Kaikini. I run one organization called Buoyancy. Buoyancy simply means the thing which caught me is we are all born out of the winning sperm, but conditioned to be losers and mediocres. So I started with children, looking at the change in children, the parents joined, looking at the change in parents, the company started calling me. Today I travel everywhere conducting these courses on human excellence. That's it.
Thank you so much, Ajit. Rajesh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I mean, after listening to Ajit, I know how sweet and short introduction he had. Let me introduce myself. I'm Rajesh Deshpande. I'm a postgraduate engineer from Visitia, Mumbai. My specialization is industrial engineering. And I was fortunate enough to have got assignments working specifically into industrial engineering area. Now, industrial engineering, as you know, is a very big gamut. It covers everything and anything which helps managers to improve performance of whatever they are doing. I have used various different tools and techniques throughout my career, spanning about 35 years, working with automobile industry mainly. And that included TPM, TQM, lean manufacturing, industrial engineering, and MOST, Maynard Operation Sequence Technique, which is a very specific work measurement tool. So I had, again, exposure working on various assessment models, which are, very prominent, available in our country. Recently, I'm working with a consulting firm as a full-time assessor and consultant, advising companies across manufacturing industry on improving their performance through lean and green methodology. There are two separate assessments. One is lean assessment, second is green assessment. And I do that traveling across India. That's what I am enjoying right now. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rajesh. Vivek, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Vivek Palsule. I have worked for more than 25 years with media or Kennametal, and primarily it gave me an access to see almost all manufacturing industries across India, let it be aerospace, automotive, steel manufacturing, general manufacturing, pumps, and everything. And that has given me a good insight into industries, what they are. Last 3 years, I've been working with Dinakar, and both of us are trying to do the doHow way transforming companies and individuals in our own capacities.
Thank you so much. Manojit, would you like to introduce yourself? And Mathiraj? Yeah, Mathiraj, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening. Thanks for opportunity. I am M. Mathiraj, working as a quality assurance and quality control manager in Dubai firm, Trinity Mechanical Services. Right now, I just visited a vacation in India, so I saw the mail. Then I didn't want to miss the opportunity, and life is always a learning process, correct? So I took
Thank you
this
so much.
opportunity to. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Manojit, long time. Would you like to introduce yourself too, please?
Yes, sir. Good evening. This is Manojit Bhattacharya. I'm since 2017, after been working for a marketeer on different industries, I started my own entrepreneurial journey. And basically now presently pursuing a couple of industrial agro products marketing. So that is the brief about me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think today, since we have got on one side very structured, rational Rajesh with industrial engineering, and on the other side, very unstructured and emotional Ajit, who work on both sides of the brain. So I would like to focus today's session on one topic. See, if you look at it, maybe Rajesh can start, and then Ajit can add on to that. See, if you look at it, whether it is MOST or Lean or TPS or TPM or TEI, all these ideas have been proven over and over and over again in many companies, possibly a couple of decades back. You know, it's not recent. So despite that, there are a lot of industries who have difficulty in adopting to these techniques and solutions, because all these techniques and solutions define, first of all, establish and get people to work as per one standard. That means they cannot deviate, because that deviation is the one which is the source of innovation. So once you deviate, you find out something could be improved and to improve further upon. That's the basic principle. Now, in your opinion, Rajesh, why do you think both managers and management have huge challenges in getting people to follow these proven techniques, which are decades old? It's nothing new. It's proven and proven beyond doubt. Over to Rajesh, and then Ajit, you can take over, please. Yeah, Other Rajesh.
Thank you. Thank you giving me this opportunity. Very interesting question. And, as I told you, I keep visiting industries in manufacturing arena. So be it chocolate or be it nuclear weapon, be it textile, be it petrochemical, be it mining, cement, whatever. And what I see is managers or management in their respective industry, they have some set processes or actions which have given them success wherever they have reached to so far. So industrial engineering premises basically challenges this, that what has given you success so far, will that give you success in future also? But, as an industrial engineer, I can put that question very simply, easily to those people whom I meet. But the challenge that, as you're asking, lies in that particular frame of mind, that if some system, some process, some actions have given me success so far, why should I even think and challenge? Now, whenever anybody listens to those philosophies of lean or TPM or TQM, at the outset, what you listen, and when you are selective in listening, what you listen is, it sounds very common sense thing. Oh, I know this. So I'm only doing this only for years. I'm doing this. So I know how to do it. And then the whole essence of what the real change it can bring in, what is the real essence of that tool, is missed out. And then what you see is some superficial formats or some superficial tools, they're implemented, and people start claiming, I have implemented this particular philosophy. But in reality, it is not, and hence it does not deliver the result. Whenever I visit such organizations, I have to really start from that point to let them first know that what you have implemented is not, first of all, you do not have the complete understanding. Do you know what is the objective? What is your company's objective? What this tool can deliver to you? And once these two have come together, then working with it with the intent. That is what makes the whole difference. But if you want to show off, I'm sorry using that word, but if somebody wants to show off that I have used this tool, I have this with me, then what happens is the tool is used, the result is not delivered. I think I'll pause here.
Thank you so
and
much. Thank you so
maybe
much. Ajit, what would you like to add? But I think he touched upon 2-3 points. One is whatever somebody, when somebody is selling something, I always think that what he's saying is common sense. You know, I already know that. So just what do you take on that? What is your take on
Yeah,
that?
see,
Please?
basically, Rajesh has beautifully put, and I'll talk about what Mathiraj said for quality control. He has come down here. You know, when I joined my job in 1978, we talked about quality control. Then we went to quality assurance. Then we went to JIT. Then we went to TQM. Then we went to Six Sigma. But we forgot it. These are all tools, as rightly pointed out by Rajesh. But unfortunately, our mindset of people has gone from, what you call, instead of delivering quality, delivery happens by me, through me. That mindset of people has not been worked upon, and it has been money oriented for attribution rather than contribution. During my time, we talked about productivity, quality. Today it is मुझे उसमें क्या मिलेगा, इस नंगे इधरನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಕತ್ತೆ, मला त्याच्यात काय मिळणार. The unfortunate thing is that the tools have become bigger and bigger, but the mindsets of attitude have become smaller and smaller. So if you take the task, TASK, T for tools, A for attitude, S for skills, K for knowledge. Knowledge has become power, nonsense. It is available everywhere today. The knowledge is not the criteria. Tools are available everywhere. The missing things are the middle two things, attitude and skills. I only work on these two things. And one good news is today I had gone to one company which had taken, I'd asked you for help there also. Straight away, we have not yet completed. I promised them I will give you a jump of, 3x. They never believed me. Already we have completed last year's turnover. We have completed today.
Oh, damn good. Superb.
Yeah.
So you still have 6
Only by
months to
working
go.
on these two things.
Correct. I think what you said is very interesting, Ajit. I get back to Rajesh on this. If you look at it, what he's talking about is getting people to follow something which is already available. Now you look at most is methodology, Ajit ji, for defining how much time would you need to perform a particular operation. It could be assembly operation, it could be some kind of a drilling operation, it could be inspection operation, whatever it is. So it is.
If you may permit, I'll say anything which is a manual activity. For that, most can be used, and work measurement of that activity can be done.
So most is a little, what should I say, easier way of measuring work, but the more refined and finer way of measuring work is what is called as MTM, which is methods time measurement, which is much more intense and laborious, which is what I learned when I was in Bosch. I used to apply that. So all these techniques tell you what is the most ideal way of performing a particular task. You know, how do you move? How do you grasp? How do you assemble? How do you keep your hands? What length, what height should the table be? And all this is defined. Despite that, people don't follow. You know, you have a most cycle time, and then the actual cycle time will not many times match. Cycle time is how much time would you take to complete one cycle. So there, Rajesh, whatever Ajit was mentioning, how much is that influence? That I think is the key, right? Unless the people are convinced, whatever you do, whether it is most MTM or watch time, stopwatch time study, nothing will work, right? Absolutely. And how do you go about doing that? What is the key from the industrial engineering perspective?
So again, a nice question. See, very aptly said by Mr. Ajit, that if your attitude and skill, those two things, they are not coming together, then things will not work. Industrial engineering as such is seen, from age-old days, enemy of workforce. Somebody who will come, use whatever tool, maybe stopwatch, MTM or most or some other tool, and they will make us work more. Okay, so first of all, the industrial engineer has that first challenge, that he has to make sure that he is not seen as enemy of the workforce, union especially, because they would say, we will not like to work like this. The primary thing, hence, even when I did this in various of my assignments over a period, because I have moved from stopwatch time study, negotiations, to most unnegotiated work measurement standards. For that, the basic and primary thing that we worked on, the single aspect of attitude and skill of what we did in various my assignments. First and foremost, I will not go to anybody, any worker. First, I'll work with my managers only, because not the workers, the manager themselves will not believe that this much work can be done. They will say, but sir, this is how much already they are working. How is it possible? Then I have to make first my managers understand. If they believe in me, the next step is my workers. Then I work with my workers union to let them understand why MTM, what is the difference between the time study and most. The simple difference is, after time study, you have to add allowances so that the standard work can be given, which can be done by any average worker. Average worker is a concept in industrial engineering. I'm sure, Dinakar, you are definitely aware of. But for others, average worker is that imaginary worker in the industry who is a sample, or a set of a person who knows the work, works it at a given space, and delivers the expected standard of quantity, quality, and time. Sorry, quantity, quality, and safety. Okay, so these three aspects are important. Now, the discussion in stopwatch time study goes along when you have to add those allowances, and that is where the whole story is. I'm sure some of you must have seen those things happening when somebody with a stopwatch goes onto the shop floor. The worker will deliberately work slow, will try and add some elements which are not a normal part of the work. Thank you for that smile. So what these MTM or most, they are known as PMTS way of doing work measurement, predetermined motion time standards. Since it is predetermined, you don't have to worry about what the worker is doing actually at this point of time. What the industrial engineer has to do is to make sure that he jots down all the value added actions and necessary necessary business value add, something what we say, okay, some actions which are necessary to complete the value added actions. So all those are captured and time for that is derived at. Now, once this is done, this is in my suggestion, and this is what I have done throughout my life. I don't go with this standard to union and tell them this is what you have to work. First, I have to explain them how this science is impartial, how this science is actually not going to burden you to do your task. Because the first and foremost concern in union or any unionized worker is, am I going to be over exhausted? Am I going to have that problem? So I have to explain them how this has built-in allowances, how this takes care of various inaccuracies that you will have in your work, plus how this is taking care of start time, lunch time, end time, issues that your body has to respond to. So all this, when this is explained first, then they are willing to listen to. And most of the time, sorry, this most is not my most, this many of the times when we let them know that this is the standard that you have to work with, if they have worked at least few years into the industry, they know this is something they can achieve very easily. Many companies do one more not so good practice to make sure that people understand this. And I'm sure, again, this you must have, many of you must have seen that, those companies would have some practice of giving overtime or incentives, and which the worker completes the task in the single shift only. So he knows this is single shift work, I can complete. Overtime also he'll complete in one shift and go home. I don't want to name the organization, but this used to be the scenario. So then people would know that this standard, what is being asked from me, is not something which is not possible. And if I'm asked to, I'm paid for 8 hours and I'm delivering 8 hours output, that is only a just thing I must do to ensure that my organization, if I'm saying this is my organization, to make sure that my organization survives and grow, this is the least I can contribute for my company. When I create such complete understanding and framework to those people, I have seen always and always they would come forward and achieve the standard that we are setting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I have a question before that. Ajit, would you like to comment on what Rajesh just now explained?
Yeah, definitely. See, beautifully explained, but I go ulta. Let us suppose I do an activity and first time, let us suppose they take 5 minutes. For the same activity, next time they'll take around 3.5 minutes. And third time they do it in 2.5 minutes. Then I ask them, do you think on online, you can, in your shop floor, there are some ways you can improve this? You have improved. First time you took this thing, now you're doing in 50% of the time. So they sit in a group and they find out, where the changes can be done. And now what am I doing is, and tell them, see, there are two things you can get. One thing is get money and lose myself, or upgrade myself, elevate myself, eliminate unwanted things. And then, I feel so good, feel good factor. There is a psychological bank balance we need to work upon. I'm working only for money, but my satisfaction, fulfillment, relationship are all gone. And I'm very happy to tell you, this is the methodology I used. And what beautifully thing it was told is quality, quantity, and safety. I add here velocity. So in the bargain, what happens is productivity overall, the 4 pillars, with these 4 pillars of quality, quantity, safety, velocity, it's wonderful things which happen. Because I tried with a company where the Unido had failed, lot of, tools were given, but in the same thing, I got whole thing implemented and the whole magical thing started.
Thank you so much, Ajit. See, my question was, see, you look at it like this, Rajesh. I have come across this quite often. I'm sure both of you as experts also would have. My clients tell me, sir, you come and please explain to them. Okay, this happens at the manager level, happens at the MD level, and the manager would, in your case, industrial engineer, would like the industrial engineer to explain what is done there. But actually, it is the manager who has to understand and get it done, isn't it? So in my understanding, I tell them that, look, it is not me to go to explain them. It is important that you have to go and explain. Okay. I keep telling them one example. See, if the kid is not doing well at home, do you always tell that, look, I'm going to call the teacher to tell you, or do I tell that he's not doing well? Or let us say the kid is telling a lie. I will say, no, I cannot tell this. I'll ask the teacher or somebody to come and tell the kid not to tell a lie. So it has to be owned by the manager. It is not possible that you delegate that and get somebody to do it. Why do you think people do that? What is the reason for that? Is it because of incompetence? Is it because of fear? Is it because of what should I say? Taking the blame away. That means in case I failed, I'm not responsible for that. What do you think is the psychology there, Rajesh? First, you can explain.
So Dinakar, all three what you have said are there, but that's the very reason why what I said in my earlier narration, that I don't first go and talk about industrial engineering and what we can do to my workers or union. I first talk to my managers only, because they are the one who are having these 3 issues in their mind. First of all, they'll not believe. Then they don't want that belief. I'm not the one who's asking you to double the work. It is the industrial engineer who's asking you to do that. I'm only a messenger. But even that messenger, if that conviction is not there, who's going to deliver it? And finally, manager has to own it. So I can only say that when I started very early days of my career, I was only industrial engineer. Then I had to do it because my managers probably 35 years back were not very convenient, or they were not having understanding of this entire science. But as I grew in hierarchy and I became manager, it was always ensured that it is my responsibility that I am the front face. My industrial engineer will give me the input, what is now going to happen, and I'm going to be the person who will convince my people. So that way it really works, because all said and done, as again I said a few minutes back, industrial engineer is seen as enemy of workforce, but your manager is seen as somebody who's your pal, somebody who's actually your father figure. In the age, he may not have to be that old, but he's seen as your father figure because he's taking care of so many other aspects of that workforce which is required there. So they naturally have more faith, more belief in what the manager is saying. So it is, when I have seen the success more when the manager owns this, and manager is becoming the front face of the such kind of changes which are expected out of workforce.
Absolutely, that is ideal situation, right? That is ideal. But Ajit, what do you think is the reason why people shy away from this responsibility?
Sometime back, Rajesh said about manager and worker. One day I had gone to this temple behind, and Abhisheka always done from top. So I said, when I took up a company, right from the directors, I'm going to do. Others, I'm not taking up your company. Okay. So let us do Abhisheka from the top. Otherwise, it doesn't work. I go and tell the directors when I take their company training program, I tell them, all these days you work for profit. Can we do something for creating involvement in your people? Unless the people are involved, no, they are not interested. I said, are you interesting? Unless you are interesting, your people cannot be interested.
Correct.
Let's be very clear about it.
Um,
So I created one beautiful thing wherein interested, interesting, inspiration, and involvement. So, and this four really blends. Right from Abhishek comes from top with this, and everything falls into place. I've been practicing this for more than 30 years now, and it has blended very well with me wherever I've gone.
That's very true. Very true. Very, very true. And I also do the same thing. I tell them, look, it's not me. It is because as a manager, he is having a lot of apprehension, right? On one side, he's getting bombarded from the top, and the bottom, the workman, especially if you are in the shop floor, the workforce will not accept you. If you're the unionized situation, it's even more challenging, where they will call you by names and take you for a ride. All these things are quite common. So that interface there is sometimes quite delicate. And many a times, like one of the cases that we spoke, Ajit, recently, somebody gets promoted, and that person who is promoted is in the same level. So he cannot command respect, and he doesn't want to earn the respect. That's again another thing. As a manager, most important thing is to earn the respect, right? You can't really go there and say that I'm here and therefore you become my deputies. That won't work like that. So all these reasons, they keep coming and telling that, sir, you help them, you help us out, you tell them, you do it. Anyway, I want to do it, but I can't do it. Yeah, Rajesh, so please
Yeah,
go on.
sorry, just wanted to add one thing. But, I would say that I was maybe lucky enough in my early days of my career, where the managers that I had, especially the top ones, where the Abhisheka starts, those were really convinced about what we were doing as industrial engineers. And I had complete backing from those seniors, my plant head, my manufacturing head, my president. That is where it was probably easier for me to do those things in my early days of my career. And once I got established, then it was very easy after that. So just wanted to add that, because one should not have that feeling that no, it was only me who delivered. No,
correct.
Solid
Absolutely.
backing from the top. That's the reason I could deliver.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, Vivek or Matiraj or Manoj, would you like to ask any question or any comment to make?
Dinakar sir, with your permission, would like to
please
just share certain, at least 25 years I am working as a quality assurance professional. Out of that, for the past 15 years, I am into assistant manager and manager category now. Okay. So since there were some, Mr. Ajit very rightly, throwed the picture clearly. So what happens is, I work under me, I have a team of at least 15 members. So always as a manager, so I am here to deliver to the top management in corporates, especially I am talking about in corporates,
correct.
I have an advantage during my fortunate thing that there is no union involved basically.
Yeah.
In India, when we come, there is a union always is there, but where we are employed in Gulf and all, there is no union as such. So the main advantage here is getting the rapport or getting the convincing factor of the subordinate team or the workforce in this language. If I want to rightly put, workforce is very easy, but the problem really lies with the Abhishekam, what he was telling, no, from the top. So I'm not. This is not something to easily pass the bucks on the top management or something in the corporate. The real problem, what I experienced is, they are ready to invest as a capital investment, no, for anything which really immediately gives the real. It shows the real benefit. Return on investment, exactly, or ROI. So they are ready to do that. But on the other hand, when it comes to the motivation or kind of the involvement and participation of the how to pull them. So basically, they expect that we have to be managers have to play a role of pujari. So what I feel is the one crux of the matter is जैसा राजा है वैसा प्रजा है. तो राजा जितना अपना पूरा जो कैपेबिलिटी जो कैस्केडिंग डाउन लेवल जो थ्रो करता है, प्रजा ऑटोमेटिकली will follow the rules and regulations, and the expected results will be achieved. So just I wanted to add, because you all stalwarts in your career and you are already into the kind of advisory level of people. But what I felt physically is there is a gap between the corporate top management and the workforce, and managers are there really, they are expected to bridge the gap. But the problem managers are having is the centralization and decentralization of the authority and responsibility. So that also is a very, very, very keen area to focus.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, if you look at it in any company, there is a management who could be the board, could be the owner, could be the founder, could be the CEO, and then there are the workers. You can call them as workers either in production, or construction workers in construction, or software developers in software. The lowermost level, which is adding the value to the customer. Now, in between that, you got the managers, right? The entire sandwich of managerial levels. It could be junior manager, then supervisor, junior manager, assistant manager, deputy manager, general manager, vice president, president, and all these levels. Multiple levels are there. I think the biggest fear in any organization is in these levels, is what I feel. And that's the reason why many a times, whatever the top man wants doesn't get percolated to the lowermost level. That means the Abhisheka is being done, but in between there are a lot of filters which get which just eat away, is what I feel.
Just close over there. It doesn't percolate.
Ajit, you want to add anything to that?
I just
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
let
Vivek.
Vivek speak.
yeah. Ajit, once Ajit asks his question, I would request Rajesh to just very quickly touch upon most the higher elements or something like that.
Yeah, but that
So
I think
just give me a minute,
yeah.
Dinakar. So that I don't want him to explain everything, but people who are on this board or people who see this video will get some amount of interest in most. I don't want an elaborate thing, but at high level, whatever you can, within maybe 5 minutes, if you tell that, that would be helpful after Ajit says it. And if you have something to share, you are free to share that too.
Okay.
See, Matiraj said a beautiful thing about Raja and Praja. Please understand, Praja. Pra means supreme, beginning. Ja and Raja. Ra means taking care of yourself. Now the question is, if the Praja is not given prominence because everything comes from there, the productivity, the hands are there. Raja is the head and hand is the Praja. But unless the heart is there, if these three H's are not aligned, it is impossible for productivity to be what it should be. There is activity, but there is no productivity if the heart and the head and the hands are not aligned. And unless the Raja and Praja become one unit, but somewhere down, if the Raja separates from the Praja, then there is a problem.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Ajit. I think very well said. And Rajesh, in terms of most, my recommendation would be to do a separate session only a technical session.
Okay.
Today it was more generic in nature. You can definitely, you already spoke about most being one of the
PMTS.
PMTS, which is available, possibly the most popular PMTS in the world.
True.
After MTM. So I would imagine that if you are okay, let us do a separate session only on most.
Sure,
only
we
a
can do
technical
that.
session, because today it was more generic in nature and not that specific. And our goal was mainly to look at talk about the challenges that the managers face, basically. It's because if you look at the topics which we spoke about are issues which are quite common in the most environment also, isn't it?
True.
It's very common. And unless we address these, talking about most will not be of much help. Because
Sure, we can do it.
and also another thing is, I'm sure you portrayed that in a fantastic way. To get a technician who can do the most analysis is very easy. But to get somebody to be able to do the analysis and implement those standards is the gap. And that's where I think with your experience and with your background, you are able to really well articulate and talk about the first step of conducting any more studies to win over the managers.
True.
There is no point in going down the line and then trying to say that, look, I'm going to do the study and try to implement it. It won't work. I think that generic area we have addressed today, we'll do a separate one only on technical session of most. If it's okay with you, Vivek, because otherwise it gets a little loaded today. Let's go back to Ajit. You have anything to contribute, Ajit? Otherwise, we'll just conclude for the day.
No,
I'll just add maybe one sentence
Yeah,
here,
please
if
go
you
on.
permit me.
Please.
Yeah. The whole success of this industrial engineering function depends on how well he is able to get or make it sure and win the trust of union. I can only say one sentence here. I'm out of industry for more than 3 years now, formal companies, but the companies that I had worked for 3 years back or even 10 years back, the union leaders of those companies, they are in touch with me. If they have any doubt, if they want any clarification, sir, is this correct? Should we go ahead? They pick up a phone and talk to me. That's the trust I have won.
Fantastic, superb. That's really very huge support for the credibility. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, Ajit, you wanted to tell something?
No. I mean, I think I've spoken more than necessary.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks a lot, because we wanted to keep this entire session short so that people would not get bored. Otherwise we are bombarding with so much amount of information. So we'll do another session only on most, and we'll do another session on the what is it called as
Human side of most.
human, more than the human side, the Abhisheka session, Abhisheka part of it. Abhisheka is very important. We'll do that also separately. One only session on Abhisheka, one session on most. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for participating. Before I end, I just want to show this slide once again and tell you that any of you, if you want to talk to either Ajit or Rajesh or Vivek or any of these participants, you are most welcome to contact us. That is the information which I want to share. This is our coordinates. You can please contact us, and we'll be more than happy to connect you with the respective experts. So with that, thank you so much, and wish you a very nice week ahead, and looking forward to meeting you again soon. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.